service. We are able to, because of our relationships as a denomination with other church bodies around the world, across the nation, we can focus our capacities to do what God would have us do, rather than have to be everything for everyone. Okay? There are financial efficiencies. By working together, we reduce duplication of efforts and increase our capacity to help and serve. We have ecumenical partnerships which allow us to help more people. And there's, I believe there's stronger, more effective ministry through multiplication rather than by isolation. That's one of my concerns with those who have broken off and are separating, is that they're going to isolate themselves. And the historic model of isolation is eventually you'll just die off. There's a witness to the world through mutual ministry, and we're able to affirm what unites and what our common purpose is. So let's break this down in some specific ways. Why I'm happy to be a bishop in the ELCA, a pastor in the ELCA, a member of a congregation in the ELCA, is that obviously we're engaged in 2 wars right now, Iraq and Afghanistan. And as a denomination, we have a history of providing pastors to our men and women who wear the uniform on every battlefield, every battleship, and every base across this globe. Right now we have 400 active and reserve chaplains. And when the shooting broke out at Fort Hood, remember that, the psychiatrist officer went out and killed? Guess who was leading the care for the people there? An ELCA Lutheran chaplain named Mike Lemke there during that time. Across the nation, we have hospitals where we know that's when people often get religion. And we have chaplains that are serving in many of these medical centers and health organizations to breed Christ's body and presence. We have over 100 ELCA pastors serving in federal or state penitentiaries. And in our synod, we have Al Becker, who's up at Florence. And he's been there for about 15 years. He was a member at American for a little while I was there, and then he took the call up to Florence. We actually have, I think, 3 or 4 ELCA congregations inside prisons. Okay? Because we believe that's where Christ calls the church to be. Global missions. As a denomination, we have church-to-church relationships. Many of us, have supported missionaries over the years, and over the last 100 years, those missionaries have worked. And they've gotten to the point where when Africa began to stop being colonized and countries started to claim their independence, new churches started to evolve out of those former colonies to the point where they are independent, indigenous Lutheran churches. And right now, we as a denomination have a relationship with 75 other global Lutheran companion churches. At our Synod Assembly, we had our ELCA missionary to Senegal, but Senegal has their own Lutheran church now of Senegalese pastors that they're training. Now, it's a really young church. It's only 25 years old, and they only have about 18 pastors, and they only have 5,000 members, but they're the second largest Protestant church, or the Christian church, in the country of Senegal, because Senegal is 95% Muslim. As a global Lutheran family, we are connected to 140 other churches in 79 different countries. Response to the global crisis. Our Secretary, David Swartling, shared that 50,000 Lutherans responded when the earthquake in Haiti hit. And to date, we have provided $7 million in relief and support. And what you and I can celebrate is 100 cents out of every dollar went to direct aid to people in Haiti, because we have people on the ground. We didn't have to rely on any other organization. We had people on the ground. And what's maybe tragic, or maybe God's going to surprise us, we were just beginning to develop the first Lutheran church in Haiti when that earthquake hit. But we had a presence there. When other earthquakes happen, like Chile happened, China happens, through our denomination, we are able, through our partnerships and relationships, to be able to do the work that Christ's body does. We have 750 global church leaders in these churches that I just talked about around the globe that are Tanzanian or Ethiopian or Nigerian or Vietnamese or Chinese. Since the ELCA got started, we have scholarshipped, through your benevolence dollars and mine, 750 church leaders to get their bachelor's degree, their master in divinity, or even their doctorate, so that they can be seminary professors and teachers in their country. We have health clinics, hospitals, HIV/AIDS centers, community development and education, and all around the world. When I went to Senegal in February, the thing that we are noted for is that we have health clinics out in the bush that have been able to drop the mortality rate of mothers when they're delivering babies because of the health education that we are able to provide when these women are providing are bearing children into the world. We have almost 250 global missionaries around the world in 47 countries. And I like to talk about every one of our congregations are a missionary outpost, and we have, about over 10,000 congregations like streams across the United States where over 4 million baptized believers are a part of this family. We have 19,000 trained leaders, pastors, associates in ministries, diaconal ministers, and granted, any denomination in this land isn't growing. But I believe that our denomination is serious about growing disciples of Jesus, and we had the Book of Faith initiative to try to get people into the Scriptures and to make it really the guiding force in our life. And we also have been really affirming the need to practice the marks of discipleship, which some of you have experienced by going on a Via de Cristo weekend. Every congregation should have those elements at work all the time. And we know one of the key factors is not just Vacation Bible School for children, but we need adults who are lifelong students and learners of what it means to follow Jesus. Unfortunately, we have been a part of a church that taught confirmation as graduation, and you never have to open the Bible or learn any more about Jesus after that. And that just is wrong, and that has to change. We have 8 seminaries that are training leaders. We have 26 colleges now. 2 have actually left, not because of the issues at Churchwide Assembly, simply because of economics. They could no longer sustain their colleges, so Waldorf College in Iowa and Dana College in Nebraska have all gone to for-profit organizations because they could no longer sustain themselves. Campus ministry, which my children have benefited from, and we have one at U of A, we have one at ASU, we have one at Northern Arizona, but across the country we have 180 specific campus ministries to reach out to the hundreds of thousands of college-age kids, and we have 400 ELCA congregations that are like right next door to a college or a university that are reaching out to do campus ministry. We have a mission investment fund. Has this church ever borrowed money from the mission investment fund? Yeah. It's kind of like it's almost like a credit union, but not quite. Where it's a real gift is that you and I can put cash into a checking account, a savings account, or a CD in the mission investment fund of the ELCA and get a decent return on that investment. But in turn, the ELCA loans that money to new congregations so they can build a building at 0% interest for 2 years, 2% interest at 4 years, and at 6 years I think it's at 4% or 6%. But it allows them not to be hit with a commercial rate right at the beginning. They also provide loans to social agencies. They also provide grants to some of our impoverished ministries. But the Mission Investment Fund has like $580 million in assets. Disaster response, we're all aware of disaster response, Katrina, Midwest floods. What we don't often hear about is, remember when 9/11 happened? That seems so long ago. But it was 9 years ago, right? 9/11 hit New York. It was just a year ago that the Lutheran Disaster Response